Alright, so this is a very baby step of scripting demo, and we're basically going to start and walk into a trigger and the light's going to turn on, and then we leave the trigger and the light turns off, and we can do that repetitively, turning the trigger or turning the light on and off. So we're starting out with a light already here. That's going to stay static, and we'll move this over and just kind of over in this area, and then in the light's properties, you want to make sure that you have some mobility settings here. It's set to stationary, and that'll be okay for our purposes. This guy we can just set to static, and this guy we can set to stationary. That means it's not going to move, but you can still turn it on and off and change the color and whatnot. The next thing that we're going to do with this light is down in its where is that? Down in the rendering area, we're going to turn the visibility off. And so that means the light's not going to render, and the trigger is going to turn that visibility back on. So what we want to do, we have this light already selected. So we'll go into our blueprints menu, open the level blueprint, delete this stuff, and right click, and here we'll see this little option here to create a reference to that point light. So we'll click that and just kind of leave it there for right now. The next thing we need to do is to create a trigger, and the easiest way to do that is over here in the left, select volumes, and then down at the bottom there's trigger volume. And so bring this guy in here and scale it up however best it works for you. I kind of just want to make it about the same size as this area here. And scale it up. And I always kind of sink my triggers into the ground just a little bit. Doesn't hurt anything. And then, since you have this selected already, go into the blueprints and open the level blueprint again. And now you want to right click and go to add event for trigger volume 1. We'll expand that. And then under collision, we'll expand that. And there's a couple events here that we want. The first one is the add on actor begin overlap. And we're going to add a second one under that collision menu again, on actor end overlap. So this is basically going to detect when the player is going in the trigger and when the player is going out of the trigger. So the first thing that we want to do is just toggle the visibility of this light. So and we will hook that up, and then when we end overlap, we want to toggle that as well. And we'll compile it, and we will build our level. And then we will test it. So here we are. We're going to walk over here and oh no, over here. There we go. So that light turned on when I entered that trigger, and it turned off when I left that trigger. And I can do it repeatedly over and over again. And so set that up a few times and just get comfortable with setting that up. And then you can kind of move on to bigger and better things.